Here.
Just before you start, will you say your name for the?
Okay. So I'm Holly Harper, retired Whitehall High School English teacher and librarian. I'm here today to ask you to consider inviting the League of Women Voters Civics Education instructors into your district to get both another set of voices teaching civics and boost your compliance with the state legislature's newly created Freedom Week. House Bill 591 was passed by the 2025 legislature and implemented as law in July of 2025, so just last summer. It resulted in the creation of Freedom Week in public schools as the final week of September. And the League of Women Voters supported this bill and are also able to support schools in the implementation of the law, which is helpful. So the law's text reads, whereas students should have a clear understanding of the relationship between ideas in the Declaration of Independence and key events in American history, including immigration, the American Revolution, the formulation of the Constitution, the abolitionist movement, and the women's suffrage movement. So that's in the law. And the League of Women Voters has trained volunteers who will go into middle and high school classes and deliver interactive, multimedia presentations on topics such as voting rights history, media literacy, and the details of how voting works, which is a match. So what they teach is what the law says they're supposed to get, and that's helpful. I've been to one of their presentations, and you can see that they have matched it to the standards, which the kids don't care about at all, but they also have some like interactive type things like the suffrage timeline presentation that I saw. Everybody got a little card, and one person was a 17-year-old and they never did ever get to stand up and say, I can vote, but the presentation is interactive, and like the white men that owned land got to stand up every time as the timeline advanced, and then the women could stand up, and then finally the Native Americans got to stand up, and the people holding the cards were like, man, I never get to vote, which is the point. So anyway, it was kind of neat. But wait, not only are teachers able to arrange for these presentations during Freedom Week in September, teachers can arrange for these guests throughout the year on days when they have a planned sub and will be gone. So the volunteer instructors can present to as many sections of students as a teacher asks for, up to a full day. So as a retired teacher who also coached, having a novel plan for substitute days and knowing that multiple adults would be in the room to ensure that plan happened would have been welcome. Like volleyball tournaments for those who are left behind. This would be a great thing, and they would be happy to come, and you could combine classes and they'll stay all day and teach the same presentation over and over again. I think they're trying to reach out to social studies teachers, and they might have already done so. It doesn't have to be a social studies classroom. If the school makes the invitation, they would be absolutely thrilled to do that. So Rebecca Johnson is the point of contact for this area civics education team. Her contact information is in the email that I sent you. And thank you for considering adding this complementary civics instruction to the students' experience.
Thank you, Holly. Does anybody have any questions? Have you been in touch with the principals? I think that's the principal's decision.
I got your email this afternoon.
Yeah, I tried in the summer. It was just a fail. So
Okay.
yeah, so I sent the email, and I don't know if you've gotten anything from Rebecca Johnson or not, but she will be reaching out. I just figured if you came at you from multiple directions, they would have a better chance of maybe saving some sub from December.
Read your email, it sounds good. Also, we're always looking for substitutes too, all the time. You keyed in on that. That happens to be on my board report, so any help in that department sure is helpful, but I'll gladly look at this.
While you're here.
She wants to be retired.
It's not yet.
Yeah, looks like a good thing.
The
I'd like to review a little further.
6/12. Yeah, and they when they're in schools regularly, annually, they try to do a consistent, we present this presentation to juniors and then a different one to seniors or sophomore, junior, whatever the sequence is, so that they don't repeat with the same kids. So.
And is this something that we're meeting this component that now needs to be implemented.
Something is
We,
supposed to
we
happen.
do celebrate Freedom Week. You're not missing programming in that area. This would just be in addition to or to augment what we're doing. We're also interestingly tonight talking about the Seal of Civics Literacy, which is on our agenda, which I think dovetails nicely with this also. So as far as, if you're asking, are we out of compliance? We are not. We are actively celebrating Freedom Week. Would this be something we could add to that? Sure. But I think to Holly's point, considering where it could fit in other points of the year too, where maybe we know that we need to provide programming and for reasons like you said, but is also a good consideration. As far as, does the board need to make a decision on this? No. Actually the decision rests with the principals on bringing in guest presenters and speakers, but Holly's just, informing. So
I would also add that civics is being taught, and it always has been taught. People seem to be under the impression that social studies teachers haven't been doing their job, and they have. So this is in no way, I'm not trying to supplant anything.
Right.
Sometimes a different voice saying the same exact thing in a different way sticks differently. So and the League of Women Voters has no intention of doing, they just want to help.
And I think importantly too, and I think you told me this when we discussed it last year, there's no political affiliation.
Yeah, no.
So there's no political affiliation. They're completely apolitical. So this is just like, get out the vote for somebody. Like,
Right.
we're not
And this is
telling
how
you who to
it
vote
works.
for.
Sure.
So there's no agenda beyond engage with and use your rights. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you, Holly.
Thanks, Holly.
Have another meeting.
All right. We need a motion to approve the last meeting's minutes.
I move to approve last meeting's minutes.
I'll second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, on to the reports. Mr. Koenig.
All right, here we are in March. Enrollment, we are down just a little bit. 2 students down from our February meeting. Looking back, data share for February. This is something I want to start doing at our board meetings. I do not want to belabor the issue. Tonight's will be a little bit longer because I need to explain the context. We are a recipient, as you well know, of the Montana REACH grant. And this iteration of the grant requires a tremendous amount of reporting. They have Mr. Slater and I really hopping on doing classroom walkthroughs, on studying student benchmark data, on looking at lesson plans, a variety of different things that honestly make us better as administrators and make us better as a district. But we're spending all this time looking at all this really good stuff that's going on in our classrooms, and I think it would be remiss of me to not share that. I could not, escape with my life. If I tried to go through an entire month's report at a board meeting, you guys would run me out on a rail. So instead, I'm just going to give you some snapshots from time to time of things that we're doing. So this particular meeting, I want to talk just a little bit about some of the walkthroughs that I do. We study lesson planning, cross-district planning, classroom walkthroughs is one of them, professional development, community engagement, and student progress monitoring. I want to talk just about some of the walkthroughs that I do. I've developed a tool that I use on my iPad to go into the classroom and look for a variety of different things. And these are short little snippets. They are not announced. There's no special show or preparation for it. This is just me all of a sudden appearing and seeing what's going on in the classroom. I do try to strategically time these walkthroughs so that I'm seeing different moments in the academic structure of their lesson. So sometimes I'm seeing vocabulary instruction, sometimes writing, sometimes literacy, sometimes comprehension or fluency or word work. It can be any number of things. I try to catch every teacher as often as I can, teaching those things specifically. And as I've gone through that, some of the key components that I want to draw attention to this week are fluency. So I walk in, what's happening and then once I get all of this information, I'm able to synthesize it through one spreadsheet and give it a bird's eye view of what's happening in the district in that particular area. So this is fluency TK through 5. What I have found is students were reading aloud while peers tracked text. I found structured reading routines, fluency connected to comprehension and instruction. Fluency is often marked, sometimes I walk in and it's not fluency time, so that's noted in here. Sometimes I'm not seeing that. I'm trying to extrapolate that from other areas of the lesson. What we're doing well, fluency is being connected to meaning and not just in isolated drills, which is great. Fluency is, the definition of that is students the ability to read through a text and make it sound like a sentence. Not necessarily comprehension, it's not knowing what they read, it's how well they can recognize the words and read it in a conversational tone. I found that students are engaging in oral reading practices. So we're doing those things well. Next month, our emphasis is going to be to increase consistent visibility of repeated reading routines. Want to see those repeated routines happening throughout the district where students are, this is what we're doing next. We are going to read for fluency. I want to see some of those routines be repeated so that students know what's coming next and can practice those skills in isolation. Strengthen explicit instruction rate, accuracy, as this is happening. Explicit instruction, the difference between that is this is the teacher guiding the students in the class through this piece of literature instead of saying, go read it and I will listen. I want to see that explicit instruction happening a little bit more next month. Ensure daily fluency practice across all grade levels. That's a little bit of that's kind of the data that I've got. I didn't see it in every classroom. Doesn't mean they're not doing it, which is important to note. It just means I didn't get there to every class at that time. Of course, throughout the year or even throughout a month, if it's possible, I want to see this in every classroom. Sometimes time doesn't allow that. So that honestly is just sort of a baseline of what I'm trying to get, got through it all. Every month I generate a report. I have one of those things for each of those categories that I mentioned earlier, and that's just in my walkthroughs. I have similar type reports on when I go through the lesson plans and see how much time are we spending on each of these categories of literacy. And I can really drill down on that and say, look, we're only spending 40% of our time on word work. We need to increase that next year. It gives me an on-the-ground bit of feedback on the direction that we're going. So try to keep that as brief as possible. I am talking kind of fast. Is there anything that I said in that section that you need me to explain further? Because I happily will. Want to just share with you guys the good things that we're doing and also the things that we want to work on, because I think that is probably the most important thing I say. It's easy to cheer for the first place team, but you know, that third place team, they've got some things to work on and we're going to get them in first place. So that's my mindset, that's the team's mindset, and we'll continue to work through that. On to current projects. Mass winter window closes this Friday. Teachers are finishing up final tests this week. I did an audit. We're missing a couple of kids that have been gone or whatever. They need to get those made up. And thank you to Miss Holly for helping out getting those final mass tests done so we have 100% done by the end of school Thursday. This is an extremely focused time of the year. There's not a lot of breaks. There's not a lot of distractions. We do have a few of our kids in the youth wrestling program, but this is, I've always looked at this March to mid-April as incredibly intense academic time. We don't have any assessments to break up the day. This is where teachers really get to shine, and this is where they can make a huge, huge difference by being energetic, including the kids, getting them opportunities to respond. So we're going to really hammer down on that in the next several weeks. Looking ahead, summative evaluations are due mid-April. We'll start getting those completed as early as next week. We are starting to schedule out all of our field trips for the spring. We want to have everything dialed ahead of time, just to make sure, because you know, last year we went a couple weeks into June. This week a lot is going to get packed into May. So I'll try to be as communicative as possible so that parents, everyone knows what's happening in May, because it's going to be a busy month. And I was so excited to find this on my last month's board report. that I was predicting we were gonna be able to wish the basketball team good luck at divisionals. We got to, so Whitehall Elementary wishes the team the best of luck in divisionals. They earned it. They've been fun to watch this year. Any questions on anything?
Thank you, Mr. Koenig.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't put you to sleep. I promise I'll make you more.
I'll tell you.
I'll get you sharp.
Love the energy.
All right, Mr. Slater.
All right, great to see everybody. It's been a very busy month. I have a lot of things forecasting and some exciting things on the board agenda as well. One of the most, mile high view things that's happened last month. Mrs. Neeskins led a discussion with Curtis and I. We looked at a population spread. From that discussion, I did a deeper dive into all of our classrooms and really studying where are kids at, whether they're in person, online, or blended today. And then also with that, one thing we really tried to lean into the last couple of years in Whitehall is student agency and student voice. So I've asked and been working with our school counselor to do a student interest survey and some exciting classes for next year. So mid-year this is kind of halftime. We get dialed into our second semester courses, get things settled in, already anticipating our staffing and scheduling into next year. How do we start doing preliminary work for that? One of our goals is to continue to increase dual credit opportunities for juniors and seniors. A great example of that, I had a conversation with one of our new teachers, Ms. Hay. She immediately reached out to and is now working on an agreement to bring in a health careers class and also a how things work in physics as well. So kind of two different areas to offer 2 dual credits potentially in our science next year. She's been actively talking to kids in her classes about, hey, what would you like to see next year at the junior and senior level? So that's one example. We're not doing that just in science, just spotlighting some great work by a staff member. We do have some upcoming professional development Friday, March 13th. One thing we worked at throughout the year is this shift into proficiency-based learning and instruction. What does that look like? How do you prepare that shift as we move into that? We'll continue that into next year with teachers. They've been doing it in the elementaries. We bring it up to hopefully eventually get to like proficiency-based grading and instructional practices. We'll also be giving some time to teacher collaboration, something we've been pretty purposeful about this year, working with the upcoming, say the 5th grade kids coming into our 6th, 7th, 8th, and the same time the middle school talking to their high school. How does that collaboration work? Very happy with some staff and their willingness to reach out and collaborate with one another to make those transitions a little seamless. Obviously, between grades 6, 7, and 8, it's the same teacher, so as long as they're getting along with themselves, it goes pretty smooth between schools. With it. Okay. All right. Proficiency-based instruction. FFA week. FFA week was great. FFA is our largest student organization. Most recently, I was informed two of our FFA kids were selected and working on becoming state officers. But that program has done very well, and they have a week throughout the state they dedicate to FFA. That ended in a big assembly for the 6-12. They did a great job running it. Really, I didn't do much besides open the doors and congratulate them. They did a really good job. Art field trip coming up. I didn't put much on that besides March 16th. I meant to talk to Ms. Walter about that. I know it's for the Historic Society, but I can't talk about it more because I didn't finish it out there. So I apologize. Junior senior prom will be coming up. Their theme this year is Night in Neon. I will be inviting Willow Creek and Harrison as well. I already reached out to them. Harrison will be sending somebody to help chaperone. Very exciting. I talked to our librarian, our community librarian, Mrs. Ferris, today. This is coming down not for a couple months, but it's very exciting. They have an exhibit, a very large exhibit with the Anne Frank Center at the University of South Carolina is sponsored. So our teachers are going to go down to that, as well as our middle school and high school. We have 2 days exclusive that we reserved for Whitehall Middle School and Whitehall High School. So this is really a large scale, only 2 schools, I think, Mrs. Ferris told me, in Montana as far as public schools are getting this, is that right?
Bozeman and us, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Two communities, Bozeman and Whitehall. So multiple schools will visit the Whitehall exhibit, but 2 communities, Bozeman and Whitehall.
Yeah, she's so excited, and some of our kids are super excited too. So we have 4 students that are committed to working as, and it was a word I had to look up. It's in here.
Doses.
Docents.
Yeah, dose. It's like a Scrabble word right there. But so they're excited about that. That was good. Student interest surveys, I touched on that. SEAL civics literacy, I'll touch on later. Ms. Neeskens has some stuff on that. I did make a shameless plug for substitute teachers earlier. That continues to be a challenge as we roll into spring. That is our highest time of absenteeism. Sometimes the best ability is availability. I recently heard a manager that I was working with in another industry tell me that. And man, that's true. You got to be there to be able to help, and we need kids to be here. This is a couple of our seniors on the back. And this is part of the 250th. There's a 250th commission that was formed by the legislature, and one of many things they're doing is promoting citizenship. And one thing that these are some signs that from Ennis, their shop teacher put together, and these are out on Highway 55. Dixon and Miles put them up today. I selected the signs that honor our veterans because I felt like if you're not for the veterans, you're before. So they're out there on 55. Very happy that our kids put them up, and that's my report.
Right. If I do apologize, but there was a note in here that I must mention that I forgot this part.
It's too late.
So community, I address you individually. We have been advertising for 6 weeks about our kindergarten roundup, which is occurring next Friday the 13th. This is for all students who are going to be at least 4 years old by September 10th of next fall, qualify for our early literacy program, or turn age 5 before September 10th, are eligible for kindergarten. Please call the school, talk to Stephanie, set up an appointment. Friday the 13th here at the school, you need an appointment.
All right.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Slater. Anybody have any questions?
Where was that Anne Frank exhibit?
Right downtown at the community library.
It's at the library.
Yeah.
It's going to be there for 6 weeks. So it starts April 5th.
Yep.
Pretty amazing.
All right. Thank you. On to our superintendent report.
All right, I'll start with a brief staffing update. Every year we have a little bit of staff turnover, have some movement internally, those kind of things. But right now you're advertising for just one position, and that is high school math. Hoping someone out there listening knows someone to refer. There are kind of 2 paths to that career, which are obviously having a degree in secondary education, specifically mathematics, but then there's also alternative licensure options for people who come from a mathematical background, such as engineering, finance, accounting, chemistry, etc. There are ways that people can transition from one career to a teaching career with relative ease. That never used to kind of exist except for kind of in the past 5 to 6 years. So we would absolutely consider a candidate from a suitable math background that is not necessarily a teaching background as well. So advertising for high school math. To echo previous comments, congratulations to girls basketball. I do feel like I intricately understand the amount of time and effort that goes into a season like that. And I think it's important to note that it doesn't start in mid-November. I mean, these girls have put in time all year round, throughout the summer, some of them into the fall, depending on if they play a fall sport or not. Definitely once the season begins. And then guess what? June 1st, they're right back at it again. So that takes dedication to commit that kind of time and effort, and I am proud that they are headed to divisional.
Our coaches have done an awesome job this year.
Undoubtedly, it helps. Having good coaching helps. Okay, just kind of moving on to what's going on in the district offices, of which there are 3 of us who work in the district offices. But giving a shout out to Jason and Alyssa for their work on audits. So I think I mentioned this earlier in the year that we have compliance audits, and this is just standard auditing. This is not because there is anything out of compliance or anything alarming, but this is just a rotational basis that we have to do these audits. So the teacher's retirement system, we were due for an audit, and Jason Silvani and Alyssa have, done what it takes to provide the information that the teacher's retirement TRS needs to ensure that we are in compliance with that. We have navigated that one through the month of February. Through February, we're also working on our annual audit, which is a financial audit of just our accounting. That occurs every single year. It is required by law. It is standard. We've never had significant findings, but it requires a lot of providing to the auditors of information. And Alyssa primarily has been the person working on that throughout the month of February. And then we have our 21st Century Program audit, which is a federal audit because that is a federal grant. That occurs every 5 years cyclically, so we'll have 4 years off, and then every 5th year we have it. They do come on site. They do a full audit of all the books, our record keeping, our grant processes, and then they actually attend our 21st Century After School program. They attend the session to ensure that our programming is what we say it is, and the amount of students that are attending are what we say they are. And that occurred as well in the same month. And then because they like to keep piling it on, and because none of the departments communicate, we also had our federal audit for the USDA food service program in February. And that again is another 5-year audit. And it'd be really nice if they were like, hey, since you're getting this audit, we'll do it this year, and then we'll put you on rotations for these other audits. But none of these organizations or entities talk to each other, and so it just so happens that everyone is here in the same time frame. And so in February, we also had that, and that is also an on-site audit. So they actually come on site, they audit our books as far as free and reduced lunch, whether we're creating eligibility correctly. They go to the kitchen, they observe breakfast, lunch service, they observe our fresh fruits and vegetable program service. The whole thing, top to bottom, gets audited, and our books are actual record keeping and reimbursements for food. So that's a big one too. We've now completed it. That also occurred in February. And then finally, for me, accreditation is due in February, and I completed that for our district. So we had a really heavy month of paperwork and compliance type of work in the district office over the month of February, but we're glad that it's behind us. And some of those we won't see for another 5 years. So I think that's my report. That is everything. So any questions on that?
No, thank you.
Thank you. All right, to old business. Review interest revenue from STIP and bank holdings.
Okay, that's me. So I emailed you guys a couple weeks ago about how it's going now that we're banking independently. So I did put in your packet where our interest was, but I actually do have an update. I was able to get the STIP and our Valley Bank interest, so that has now increased to from July to February, we have paid $49,977.41 in interest. So compared to county prior year, we made for the whole year $2,634.76.
That's insane.
Yeah, this is literally a game changer for us, because when you think about $50,000, that's the difference between cutting a teacher or not. When budgets get tight.
Yep.
So, truly, this was a major change for us, and a good change.
How can that money be used? Or what
It's just put right back into our general fund. Yeah. It's just, it can be used for any purpose. Yeah. So what it does is create a cushion,
Sure.
in an otherwise very tight budget.
Yeah.
Right now, I have a spreadsheet that Todd has helped me with, where it basically divides the interest evenly.
By fund.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, great.
we all get 100% raise. Still zero.
Yes, but thank you for having faith in Alyssa and I to navigate us through this independent banking because it has been a world of difference in our revenue. So it's a big thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
John,
Yep, I'll keep you updated on that, end of fiscal year, but yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. Okay, I'm done. Are there any questions? Oh, okay.
which is good news.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a goal, because last year you guys agreed to have us sign on to the Bank of Montreal where we get interest back.
This is our credit card.
Sorry, credit card, yes. And my goal is to get at least $1 million in expenditures on that card, and that could potentially get us at least 10,000 back.
In rebates.
Thank
Yeah.
you, rebates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
From the credit card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what we've done is we started, so bills that we used to pay, putting them on the credit card, you know, and a lot of our like big curriculum expenses and such. We're putting our big expenses on that card, those cards, so that we can get the rebate at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's my goal. Okay,
So
so
making our money make money has
Yeah.
basically been our big shift for us.
That's awesome. All right, update on school district elections.
Okay, that's me again. So for the elementary district, both Laura and Amy were elected by acclamation. So as a result, the elementary election will be canceled. Yeah, so thank you. That's great. As for the high school
And you'll be
district,
officially seated for your new term at the May board meeting still. So you're still completing your current term right now, yeah.
thank you. I did have fun later. And then for the high school district, so Chad has chosen not to seek re-election, but thank you, Chad, for, you're not done yet.
Yes.
May,
Couple more
right?
months. Yes, correct.
Who's counting? So thank you, Chad. So an election actually will be held between Questa Edwards and Ryan Patrick. And the county will conduct that election, and election day is Tuesday, May 5th. So,
And just for the sake of the record, I did confirm with our county clerk that all of those voting anomalies from our elections several years ago where people were mailed incorrect ballots because they had like 16 people in the wrong voting district, that has all been corrected. She has triple checked that. And she is confident that
And she knows where I live.
she does. I actually had her check you specifically and her dad. And basically all 16 people I had her hand check, yes.
Okay,
So
good.
you are not receiving a ballot
Okay, good.
because you shouldn't.
So, yep, when we get closer to that, we will find out how the Cardwell High School District election will go. And so since Tuesday, May 5th coincides with our regular scheduled board meeting, we are possibly looking at postponing the May board meeting till the next week, May 12th. So can everyone look at their calendars? I know it's kind of hard to predict where you'll be on May 12th, but if that looks good.
If we could please push it back a week, we'll actually be able to certify the election results and seat new board members and do our reorganization meeting, which is normal for May, but it just so happens that our meeting falls on election day.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I'm traveling that week. We've got a healthcare event in Salt Lake, so I'm sure there'll be a quorum, but if it's meaningful.
That's
I'll be
helpful
out that
because,
week.
yeah, we do need a quorum of elementary to be on.
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
I'll probably be here.
Okay. We'll
Basketball
need
season will be
you
over.
or Aaron. And if you and Rico aren't both here, then we need someone else to run the meeting. So anyhow, we can revisit this again next month in April and finalize. So if you'll just be, everyone will kind of just double check with you now.
That it for school board, okay, elections? Okay, new business. Hire paraprofessional Miranda Murray.
Yep, I'm gonna turn it over to Curtis to give us some information on Miranda.
We're actually really excited to receive an application for a parent position from a person who wants to be a teacher. She's currently enrolled at University of Montana Western and pursuing her teaching degree. She's almost at the end of it. She's moved to this area and expressed interest in working in our school. And so she has been for the last couple of weeks. She has covered entire classes as a sub. She has also done some intervention work, and I am very pleased with the quality of instruction that she's providing. And I would highly recommend that you would cast a vote to hire Miranda Murray as a para.
All right, we need a motion.
That's an elementary position.
It is, yep. Still elementary bill.
I motion to hire Miranda Murray.
I second.
Seconded, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, rehire elementary principal Curtis Koenig.
Okay, Curtis does expect you to be a little more enthusiastic about this guy.
There'll be a lot of discussion.
All right, I highly recommend Curtis for rehire. I think something both principals have done is really work to create a culture of learning in their respective schools. And in particular for Curtis, I feel a real strength of his and his team. And I think you see this every month because it shines through in his principal reports, or how much they examine data and let it drive their instruction. They are very responsive to student needs. This is not blind guesswork of what kids need. And the reason why his school is one of the highest achieving elementary schools in the state is because of this. Because they do look at their data, they decide and make instructional decisions based upon the data. This is not guesswork, this is professional level of data analysis and responsiveness of programming to meet kids' needs. And I think that's an exceptional thing to have an entire team that has those capabilities, and highly recommend Curtis for rehire.
All right, do we have a motion?
I motion to rehire Curtis.
I'll second it.
Seconded, any discussion? All in favor?
Thank
There we go. Motion passes. Okay, hire 612 principal Jason Slater.
Again, highly recommending rehire of our 612 principal. To build off of what I said earlier, I feel like both principals do a good job of creating a culture of learning in their respective schools. And I think one of the unique things about the 612 and really the high school in particular has been over the past few years, Jason has really led his staff through the unique challenges that have come in the past few years, really since COVID, and some of the changes the legislature has made in regards to open enrollment and remote learning and flexibilities in education as far as whether or not you are physically present in the school or not. And this, I think this can get missed sometimes on how challenging that shift is, because it's not something teachers naturally appreciate as students not in their classrooms. But it is a necessary shift that has to happen to be responsive to what customers want. And post-COVID, there was that shift where there was a certain portion of our population that really did want to continue digital learning for a variety of reasons. And Jason's done a really good job in his building of transitioning his staff through that challenging transition of providing hybrid learning, whether that is through our Imagine Learning program or through a lot of new dual credit offerings. The amount of dual credit offerings that we have in our district now as opposed to 5 years ago, basically the sky's the limit for kids. Any college course that is offered online, kids have the opportunity to take at our school. And I think pushing towards that has accelerated some of our kids in a way that we didn't have in prior years. So again, creating a lot of opportunities for kids and a great culture of learning. So would recommend Jason for rehire.
I move to rehire Principal Slater. I'll second that.
Seconded, any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you both for what you do for the school.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the support.
All right, on to approving substitute staff.
Right, so we have one new addition to approve this month. Hang on one second here. Our new hire would be Lori Weld, to add to the list of already approved subs. As Mr. Slater mentioned earlier, we're still needing more subs. Quite a few of the subs on our list are not able to work on a routine basis. It is intermittent for them, and so we really can use additional people to round out our subbing staff.
I move to approve the substitute staff list.
Second.
Seconded, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, hiring additional 21st century program staff. Kayla Hay.
Keela is our high school science teacher, and she would be adding on to our existing staff for 21st century program, recommending hire for her.
You have a motion?
I so move.
I'll second it.
Oh, yeah, you can't, sorry, it's an elementary only motion,
Oh, is it?
sorry.
I move to hire the 21st century program staff, Kayla A.
I'll second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Hire middle school English teacher Scarlett Malcolm.
Yeah, so this, just to clarify for the community who might be wondering what is happening to Brett McLean. Brett McLean is moving back to his original position, which was middle school social studies teacher. He moved to English at a time that was pivotal for us when we really were short an English teacher, and he was comfortable doing that and really prefers to be in social studies. So in hiring the middle school English teacher tonight, this would allow him to move back to middle school social studies. And then the vacancy, which is created in our high school history department, will be filled by Justin Clements, who is certified in 512 history. He would be moving up from middle school history to high school history. And I'm going to turn it over to Jason, who did interviews for the middle school English teaching position, to talk more about Scarlett Malcolm.
Yeah, I'd love to. That was an exciting deal and a very hard some conversations, and we had 3 great candidates, and that's a place that you love to be. Frankly, it's exhilarating. You're looking at them and talking to them, and I have nothing but respect for all 3 of them. At the end of the day, Scarlett Malcolm is a young professional from Linsdale, Texas, which is a small town in East Texas. 6,000 people, about twice the size of Whitehall. She started after high school. She wanted to be a teacher. She went to a junior college. Afterwards, she attended Texas A&M, talked to Texas A&M's clinical supervisor, and they said she is the best of their graduating class, and whoever gets her will be so lucky. She student taught under somebody, a veteran teacher of 35 years that I got to speak with. And she said, you will be so lucky in 35 years. This is the best person I've had. And I'm like, again, wow. I'm kind of surprised. And she's laying it on. She's like, we want her, but she's had a dream to come to Montana for the last couple of years. That's all she's talked about. She came up over Christmas time. She has pictures of Yellowstone. Literally toured between Butte and Bozeman. Knew where Whitehall was at. Checked out our website. Knew our portrait of graduate. And was very impressed. And the third reference I would share, she's a spiritual person, somebody from her church that just bragged, just an exceptional old soul that is a teacher through and through. And you'll be so lucky. So we had some real discussion. Our senior English teacher, Mr. Lewis, was on the committee with me along with Mr. Head. And at the end of the day, the fit for our middle school, I'm very excited to recommend Miss Scarlett Malcolm for English next year. If you have any other questions, I'd gladly field.
All right, do we have a motion to hire?
I motion to hire the English teacher Scarlett Malcolm.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
I.
Motion
I
passes.
She's middle school, middle school.
Yeah, we're not
Oh.
middle school.
No, I can't say.
I'll
Do
second.
some middle school. We just
You're
hired
getting
him.
fired today. Can't tell the bait.
He just wants to do something.
I'll second it.
I can't stand the crickets. We gotta say something.
All right, now I can't remember if we voted or not.
I don't,
You have
just
not.
call for the vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay,
I will say Scarlett has a very authentic East Texas y'all, right? So our kids will be getting some influence from East Texas.
we have some more y'alls in town. Good. Okay, hire part-time custodial assistant Brody Prevost.
Right, so from time to time, we have the opportunity to partner with our, with adult vocational rehab services in Butte to offer employment to, disabled people in our community, and, would like to offer that opportunity to Brody Prevost.
All right,
Well, I think it'd be cool to hire Brody Trio to be the custodial assistant. So I moved to hire him. Thank you.
Yes, I'll second.
Give me a second.
seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Approve the seal of civics literacy as part of the high school government/civics curriculum.
Right, so in your packet there you have, I think, 9 pages of information on the seal of civics literacy that was newly approved at the state level in Montana. We are joining, I think it is 48 other states that already have this in place. Yeah, so we're late to the party, but this is our iteration of it. And essentially, there's 4 program criteria, which is to get the seal of civics literacy. And this we're not suggesting to make this required for graduation or anything like that, but something that the kids would work towards in their senior level government/civics class as part of the curriculum. And so it's not like if they don't pass this, they don't graduate or anything crazy like that. It's just part of their assignments which contribute to their grade in their course, right? So the first criteria is that they must complete the OPI naturalization, which is the USCIS test with a score of 80% or higher, and that is the cutoff that is required to become a naturalized citizen. They must successfully complete the required half-credit civics courses during high school, which that's required to graduate. So that's a given. Like if you're graduating high school, you have done that. Criteria 3, and I really like this part. I think this is great to get some of our kids really out in the community to do this, but they either have to complete 40 hours of community service or 20 hours of community service and pass the Montana Challenge Test, which is the Historical Society's test on Montana history. That's really cool too. And I did speak to Mr. Clements, who is our incoming high school history teacher, and he's like, that's his preference. He really would like, as far as preparing kids for tests, he would like to prepare them for both tests and try to focus on getting kids competent in both Montana history and civics. And then the criteria 4 is that they have to submit an application to OPI before the end of their final year of high school with evidence that they have done the previous 3 things. And then there is much more information in the next pages on what that can look like and how community service can be tracked, etc. He and I also discussed the community service could be some sort of class project together too. Like I know we could probably clean up the highway between like Whitehall and Cardwell, or even around our own football field. There's some debris out there. I mean, we could totally clean up even our own campus. I'm certain we could find plenty of projects, and I think there's other organizations in our community that would appreciate assistance as well. And so I'm confident that not only would this provide kids with a strong foundation in civics and Montana history, but also I think our community will appreciate the community service piece, because if you think about having a class of roughly 35 to 40 kids, each completing 20 to 40 hours of community service, the impact on our community will be measurable and it will be noticed. And I think that will be another positive impact of this. So I am recommending that that you vote to approve adding this to our existing curriculum for government and civics.
All right, do we have a motion?
This is a high school.
I move to approve the School of Civics literacy as part of high school government civics curriculum.
I'll second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, this next one's a mouthful. Advertisement of resolution of intent to impose an increase in levies.
Yep, so annually in March, by March 31st, we have to notice the public on what we, at this current point in time, believe we are forecasting for August. This is always an interesting process because we actually don't know for sure until August what our final look at finances will be. However, Alyssa and I did go over our existing levies, and we do have 2 notices that we are proposing to notice the community on. And again, we don't vote on this till August. We're not making any decisions. We're just predicting this is our needs. So if you look at the elementary notice of intent to impose an increase in levies, we are noticing the public that we believe we will have a $25,000 increase in our elementary tuition fund. This is a change of 2.83 mils, and the impact on a $100,000 home would be $2.15 a year. For $300,000 home, $6.44 a year, and for a $600,000 home, a $14.81 increase for the year. Our needs in regards to tuition fund funds the needs of special education students in our district to ensure that they have para support. We do have students that we know who are entering the district as new students who will require that level of support, and that we need to increase our staff by at least 1 position. So thus the increased needs for the tuition budget, and we will have to do these as separate motions, so we can entertain a probably motion for elementary right now. And then
All right, do we have an elementary motion?
I move to approve the advertisement of the resolution of intent.
I'll second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Moving on to high school. Since we have 2 separate districts, we have to do a separate notice for this. Our prediction in regards to the high school district is that we will need to increase the transportation levy. This is to pay for, well, there's 2 things. One, we need to adjust our existing transportation budgets between elementary and high school to reflect the fact that there are 7 high school routes and only 6 elementary routes. And then the other piece of this too is we do have a built-in increase with Harlow's, which is coming. And as a result, our transportation levy would increase by $35,000 next year. This is a 2.61 mil increase. The impact on a $100,000 home in that district, because the taxable value is higher than the elementary district, is actually less. It's $1.99 compared to the other levy, which actually had more mills. And then impact on a $300,000 home would be a $5.96 a year increase, and the impact on a $600,000 home would be a $13.70 a year increase. So at this time, that is our best prediction, and we will finalize that in August.
All right, do we have a high school motion?
I move to approve advertisement of resolution of intent to impose an increase in levies.
I'll second it.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, school calendar.
Yes, so the school calendar committee works kind of in tandem with the union, basically, to essentially come up, the administrators work in tandem with the union to come up with a proposed school calendar. There were 2 options that were created. The staff was given the opportunity to vote on those options. And this calendar that you are seeing tonight won by a 2/3 vote. So it was the more popular of the 2 calendars. How it differs from our current school calendar, we actually start August with a half week, so students have 2 days in that week. This is preferred by elementary teachers to have kind of a soft start, especially for the elementary kids. They kind of ease into school. And so teachers would actually start on that Tuesday, students would start on Wednesday, August 19th. Also, it is the preference of the staff to have the Wednesday before Thanksgiving off to provide a longer Thanksgiving break. So this year we did not have that off, and we would have therefore Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, creating a 5-day break instead of a 4-day break for Thanksgiving. And then what that does, because we've now shifted the calendar back by 3 days, is that would put us going to school after Memorial Day. So Memorial Day is really late next year. It's May 31st. And so we would go June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd to school, and everyone would be out on June 3rd. And graduation, this would allow graduation to be on Memorial Day weekend, which I think is a preference of parents. That we have heard over the years that many families appreciate, they get more people to attend graduation because they have Monday off of work, and graduation's on Sunday. So this is the preferred calendar by the staff, and I would recommend that you approve it.
Do we have a motion?
I motion to approve the 2026-2027 school calendar.
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, do we have a motion to approve the elementary claims and accounts?
I motion to approve the elementary claims and accounts.
I'll second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We're very quiet today.
We're here. We really are.
I'm just gonna ask, any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Do we have a motion to approve the high school claims and accounts?
I move to approve the high school claims and accounts.
Second.
All right, do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
There we go. Motion passes. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Everybody know that.
You guys all must be a little tired tonight.
Meeting adjourned.
So funny.
Anyone else here?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, if they did that across the state, it's about 400. It's like 20 billion. Yes.